Hello and welcome to episode 18 of One Game at a Time. It's a pleasure to have your company. I'm Seb O'Neill, joined by two very esteemed guests, starting with Mark Talbot. Mark, how are you doing?
I'm very well, mate. How are you?
I'm quite well on this week, and our other guest for this evening is David Grant. David, how are you?
Very well, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing well. I guess we might as well just start really with your pick of the week. I guess there's no really other way to continue on.
Well, Euros fever is well and truly hit here. It's been a big lead up for me, obviously because Scotland have qualified and they were in the Euro 2020 tournament, but that was held in 2021, of course, because of COVID and all that. But I've been struck down by Euros 24 fever, as you can see. And it's all very exciting. I've been listening to podcasts from over there. I've got friends, I've got tickets for the games. My cousin's going to the Germany game on Friday night. So it's all very exciting. But so my pick of the week especially was the fact that the Scotland team have been piped everywhere they've gone. So I think there was a piper to see them out of their camp in Glasgow. They flew out on Sunday from Glasgow Airport. I'm not even sure that's Glasgow Airport because there's blue sky everywhere. But anyway, there was a piper at the airport to see them off. They arrived in Munich. They've got a camp. It's outside of Munich. It's about an hour's drive outside of Munich in the hotel there. They were piped into the hotel at Munich. Then they were piped by another piper into their formal do, and then this is them making their way onto the bus. But there's a piper up the front there you can see as well. And then when it gets to it, the squad went to a Bavarian beer hall, and John McGinn, who's a teammate of Joe Gauci, of course, was all donned up in the Bavarian the headgear, much to the mirth of his teammates. There wasn't a piper at that one, I don't think. And then they were piped back to the hotel, and they've started their training sessions in Germany. That's really my pick. You're going to hear a lot about this from me over the next probably 9 days that Scotland are in this tournament.
Even though the tournament goes 2 weeks.
It does. It doesn't go for 4 weeks, or is it just 2?
Yeah, whatever it is, 4 weeks.
Scotland's tournament's only going to be going for about 8 days.
We've already got your best friend Ben showing his support for both of your national team back in Europe.
Top man, yeah. Ben's father was from Musselburgh, so he's good in my books. In fact, he turned up to one of the comms that we did wearing a Scotland shirt underneath his jumper. So Ben's one of us.
I'll go next with my pick of the week being a new signing in the off-season for Adelaide City, Raphael Leai. He's quite a big signing in prospect. He's quite well known around the world, as you can see there. At 15 years of age to about 18, he's played 44 matches in the Solomon Islands, scored 61 goals. As a 16-year-old, has played for the national team on numerous occasions. And all in all, it's a massive signing. He's quite, I don't know how to describe it. He's sort of like a cult player where it's not like he's a big name signing, but he's still quite well known, I think, around the world in terms of he's probably one of the most well-known oceanic players, I reckon.
I think he's one of the Solomon Islands' only ever pro player as well, isn't he?
Correct. He is the only one to have ever made a pro.
And
that was most recently.
Yeah, massive signing for City, and the fact that I was only chatting with Barney a couple of weeks ago, and he actually said that they were looking for a striker to help with scoring goals. So massive signing, because that's certainly what he brings to the game.
So he's come from a club in the Solomon Islands called the Henderson Eels. Is that what I saw in your thing before?
He's actually come from Velez Mostar, which is a club in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and that's where he was the first. He made history there by being the first ever Solomon Islands player to play professionally. But before that, between the ages of about 15 to I think 18, he was in the Solomon Islands, basically tearing up a league with a bunch of grown men as a teenager.
So Marist and Henderson Eels, they're both Solomon Island clubs.
Both Solomon Islands clubs, yes.
Cool. No, it's good.
He'll
Yeah.
certainly be looking for an A-League contract, then no doubt.
Well, he also played reserves over the weekend, which I think is a lot of how many people actually found out about the sign. I think got an assist against Comets, but obviously due to the windows, I'm not quite sure when they start and end. But obviously couldn't play first team football on the weekend. But he's already played in City's colours for their reserve.
Yeah, so I think you're allowed to play reserves for 2 weeks prior to the window opening, or something like that, and then you can play once the window opens. He's then allowed to play for the first team, but he's allowed to play for the reserves at the moment.
It will still be a bit of time before he does play first team football as well because of the upcoming OFC Nations Cup, which we'll talk about later on, but that will be coming up. So he'll still be away for a period of time before he can actually make his first team debut for City. Mark, on to you.
Yes, my pick of the week was the fact that we had every game in the NPL this week covered with comms. I think it's the first time ever that we've managed to have a commentary team on every game across the men's NPL. We also had the women's round 10, 3. How many games were played for the women's NPL, Seb? Was that 3?
5.
5. So we had 3 of the
So
5
5
covered
games.
as well.
Yeah.
Yep. So overall, that's a massive achievement right there in the fact that, and also myself and Johnny weren't on any games either. So we still had a couple of guys. No, but we still had a couple of guys in reserve that unfortunately I was out for the weekend. But, you know, I mean, we've still got people there that are sitting on the bench that could still step in and do games. So the fact that we've got to that point now in only a couple of years, I think is massive for the game in general.
Absolutely. And I
So-
think it definitely
so-
helps most people with watching as well.
Yeah, it certainly does. More people certainly tune in if there is a comms team on talking about the game. But yeah, it's a massive achievement when you look at it over the last couple of years and what it's grown to, and hopefully we can continue to grow and keep getting more people involved in the comms side of the game.
But not too many more in case we get put out of a gig.
I already have, so
I was going to say, David, you did 3 games on the weekend. Surely you want some sort of break.
Yeah. I think, to be honest, by the time the third one came around, Connie led the third one, to be fair, so I didn't have much to do in that. He did a really good job as the lead comm in that. So the pressure's off a little bit, I think, if you're doing co. So that third game was kind of cruisy for me, but I was a little bit wiped out by the time it came round.
Well,
I think
let's hope.
Footballed out. Do you know?
Let's
I
hope
might
you
have
can
to
remember
take. I
them.
might have to take my headgear off because I'm a bit warm. So if that's okay with you guys, before I forget as well,
That's
I just
okay.
want to wish my football mad nephew James Grant, who turns 18 today, a very happy birthday. So I just wanted to get that mention in because I know he'll be listening. Now I need to get.
I'm
this
sure
off 'cause
that's
it's too hot.
I'm sure that's the site that he wants to see his uncle in when he's wishing him
That's it.
happy birthday. We'll start as always by going through the results of the past round, starting with State League 2. Eastern United 4-1 over the Hills Hawks. Modbury 4-0 loss to Cove Noarlunga in the Southern Derby, losing 1-0 to Seaford Rangers. Pontian 3-0 over Gawler Eagles in the Eagle Derby. Northern Demons 3-0 over Port Pirates, and Mount Barker losing 3-2 to Adelaide Uni. A lot closer than I think you two expected, and I was happy to back my best friend Alessio. So what do you have to say for yourself?
they still lost. No, look, to be fair, it is a lot closer than what we certainly anticipated, which is great for Barker. Obviously, Uni were coming out of a bit of a sticky period where they'd drawn and lost the last 2 games. So overall, I mean, Barker could certainly take positives out of it, considering they scored 2 goals against the top side. So it is positive. Yes, they didn't win, but there are certainly positives they can take out of that game.
I would just add, and I think I've mentioned this before, that I did see Adelaide Uni about a month or 2 ago when they played. That's not me, is it? Hello.
But no, I think it was. I certainly don't have a Scottish team playing.
No, it's just, whenever Scottish people turn up on the screen, and like you said, I think pipes just tend to show up. So apologies if that happens again.
I honestly thought I was letting the team down because I thought it was maybe that, of course, would be my ringtone, wouldn't it? That would be the ringtone I would have. Wouldn't it? So I thought, oh, someone's calling me. Very good, Seb. I'll be aware of that through the course of the next probably 3 or 4 hours that we're talking. I was just going to add that I did see Adelaide Uni play the Hawks probably about a month, maybe 2 months ago, when Uni were on a real roll at that point in time. And I think I mentioned at the time that I wasn't blown away by Uni at the time, and I thought they looked like a side that might be fallible. And then they got into that sort of rocky period where they kind of dropped a few points. They had a draw and a loss, didn't they? So if you were the bottom side or down near the bottom and you were going to be playing the top side, this would be the week to do it. So by all accounts, Mid Barker were a little bit unlucky. I mean, I think they were 3-0 down, but when they clawed it back to 3-2, there was an outside chance they might have got a draw or something out of it. So well done, Barker.
And I think a certain A. Karachi came on as a substitute and with about 20 minutes to go, if my memory serves me correctly as well. I don't know how much of an impact that made. No penalties from my...
They brought him on for penalties, surely, or to win a penalty.
More around the place. I guess the Southern Derby is another place to go. Mark Noarlunga losing 1-0 to Seaford.
Yeah, it's. I picked a draw in this game. I thought it would be a pretty even game, and from the account that I have read, it was a pretty even game overall. And Seaford managing to get the one goal and then holding out and taking the 3 points. So, in the context of the season, a huge result for Seaford. Noarlunga, I think, is still sitting mid-table, somewhere around that 6th spot in finals. So, overall, yeah, pretty even game, and Seaford, like I said, managed to hold out for the win. And I think for me, the other game was probably the Modbury Vista Cove game. I can't remember what I picked in this one, or any of us picked in it, to be honest. But I was expecting a closer game than a 4-0 result in the end. Modbury Vista at home have been pretty good this year, so I was really expecting a tighter game. Cove obviously just turned it on and made it count this week. So massive result for Cove. I mean, they've got goal scorers throughout the game. I think probably what killed Modbury Vista was the fact that the second and third goals were scored only 3 minutes apart. Foglia scored in the 73rd. Ollie Grant backing that up in 76. So I think that probably killed the game for Modbury Vista. But overall, like I said, a good week for some of the sides at the bottom. Like I said, Seaford with a win that keeps them close to Eastern United. Port dropping down to 7th, and like I said, Noarlunga sitting in 6th now. So, but that was a Demons win over Port was a big win, because that now puts them 3 points on Port in 5th spot. So, really, really tight league at the moment. Those positions between 5th and 9th are quite close. It's only sort of 2 games between Seaford in 9th and Northern Demons in 5th. So you have to keep an eye on this league. That's for sure. It always throws up some exciting fixtures.
I don't know if you mentioned it, Mark, or not, but Pontian Eagles as well. They won 3-0 against Gawler, who are obviously down near the bottom. But Pontian left it a little bit late. They did score in the 64th minute, but their second and third goals came just with 5 minutes to go to the end of the game. So, but big wins for the likes of Pontian and Cove, just to keep in touch with Adelaide Uni at the top. Vista slipped up, of course. So a little bit of a gap down to 4th now.
Very, very interesting. The more the weeks and rounds go on to the Women's State League. Campbelltown winning 2-1 over Adelaide Jaguars. Elizabeth Grove 5-0 over Cove. South Adelaide going down 5-1 to Western Strikers. Modbury Vista 9-1 away to Fulham, and Modbury Jets 13-0 away to Croydon. That Campbelltown game, very, very close for a team that looks to be promoted to the WNPL.
Yeah. Oh, you go, Mark.
No, you go for it.
going to say, yeah, the Campbelltown win keeps them, 6 points clear. But yeah, 2-1 against Jaggers. Can't remember what we all picked in that, but we certainly wouldn't have picked a game quite as tight as that. Can't remember when the goals were scored. Maybe someone can help me with that. But the other thing I was just going to comment on was good to see that Croydon got back on the park this week. And went out and played the Modbury Jets, fulfilled their obligations, if you like, their league obligations, and played the Modbury Jets. They lost heavily, of course, but it is important they're there because the likes of Western Strikers, I think it was, that only got the 3-0 win. That counts negatively for them because obviously they didn't get a chance to get their goal difference up. But well done to Croydon for getting out on the park. It must be difficult for you, but it's good that you're out there. The goals in that Campbelltown game, did they come late? I can't remember. Bear with me. Yeah, so Campbelltown scored first the 24th minute, and then Jaggers equalised through Raya Jackson in the 41st, but the winner only came in the 71st minute. So argue that was maybe closer than... I didn't see the game, wasn't at it, but that looks like a closer game than any of us were expecting.
Mark?
I am. I was just going to say, I'm right there with you, David, on the Croydon result. I think that's great that they got back out on the park, but I do feel for them, that's for sure. I think the other game as well that probably piqued my interest, again, South Adelaide Western Strikers, both 6th and 7th in the table. So I was expecting this game to be a lot closer than what it appears. I mean, Western Strikers went and won 5-1. So I mean, that's a very surprising result. Like I said, I wasn't expecting it to be that big a scoreline. Yes, I think Western Strikers probably scored 2 late goals, 89th and 91st minute, which probably added some gloss to the result because it was 3-1 up until the sort of 3-1 at the 43rd minute. So I think that was a bit of surprise, to be honest. And I think the other result, Modbury Vista, 9-0 win over Fulham. Fulham really surprising me. I expected a lot more from them. They're obviously going through a really tough transition moment this season. I know they have got a new coach in, so and they've obviously lost some players, but really tough transition year for them. So, but they'll keep pushing on and see how they go. But you look at the table, Campbelltown, Modbury, and Elizabeth Grove, sort of top 3 contenders. Campbelltown, Modbury Vista, both more than 5 wins on the trot now. Elizabeth Grove, 4 wins out of 5. So Campbelltown are running away with it a little bit. They're still 6 points clear. So it's just a matter of whether Modbury and Elizabeth Grove can close that gap. But I think it's a bit of space between the next group of teams.
Be interesting. I mean, Elizabeth Grove play Campbelltown next, so I know we're not on predictions yet, but that's a massive game if Grove can get something out of that. The other thing I was going to quickly mention as well about Campbelltown is, and I can't remember, did we mention this last week about their new signings, the goalkeeper Claudia Jenkins?
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. 7 days ago, isn't it? And I've got Euros fever, so I'm not on top of the game.
I've slept since then.
Yeah.
On to State League 1 for round 14. Salisbury United 1-0 at home to West Torrens Burkalla. West Adelaide winning 2-1 against Western Strikers in the west of Mount Barker. Fulham United losing 1-0 to Cumberland United. Sturt 3-1 winners over Adelaide Victory. Playford a 0-0 draw against Blue Eagles. And Vipers 1-0 against Adelaide Ammonia Cobras in the Snake Derby. To go.
Hey, Mark, I'll let you talk about Playford and Adelaide Blue Eagles. The one I'll pick up is because obviously they had a draw. Mark, you maybe can expand on that. But the one that stood out for me was because of that draw at the top was Burkalla missing out on a chance to maybe. I don't know if they would have leapfrogged them, would they? No, they wouldn't. They would have gone into second, Burkalla, if they'd had a win over 5th place Salisbury United. In the end, they didn't. They went down 1-0 in that match. So West Torrens Burkalla must be kicking themselves over that, eh? And Yeah, you go with your highlights again, Seb, just to throw it in.
And just quickly, actually, on this Salisbury game, I was chatting with Matt Gaston the other day, and he said, I mentioned it last week, how the captain has popped up and scored so many goals lately. In the last few weeks, Gaston has pushed him up as a striker. So he's gone from right fullback to striker and has continued his goal scoring form. And so he's moved him up, and it's paying dividends for Salisbury because he keeps scoring week in, week out.
That game also ending with 10 men apiece as well. Very interesting towards the end of that one. What are the others for you?
What happened about West Adelaide? Why were they playing up at Mount Barker? Was that just because they were rotating grounds? Was there any other reason, or
not that I'm aware of? They've still not got a home. Well, they have got a home ground, but it's still not ready yet.
Usable.
Yep. So they will continue just to ground share until that's ready. So they basically, whoever's available, whoever's able to take them on for the week at the moment until they can get their home ground sorted, which I believe is on the way. I know we've been saying that for quite some time, but they have been doing some works of late. So, but I'll continue with the West Adelaide then, because I tell you what, that win against Strikers has really helped them, because they were struggling. They still are. They're sitting 10th at the moment. But before that game, they were sitting in relegation. So I think I hope they don't, but if they go down at the end of the year, they might be able to play on their pitch next year, because there are obviously a lot less restrictions on the ground. So they may actually be able to play there. However, the win is a big win. Like I said, it puts them 2 points above Western Strikers now in that relegation zone. So victory, they lost on the weekend 3-1 to Sturt, I think it was. So that's victory now, 7 points from safety, which is a big points gap to have to make up. And their current form is not the best. I believe, I don't know if this is true or not yet, but I have heard that they have, they've parted ways with Jim Sakinis as coach. I haven't seen anything from the club itself, but I have heard that Jimmy Sakinis and Victory have parted ways. So keep an eye on that, but that'll be their third coach now with a few games to go. I said big win for West Adelaide there. The other game, obviously, Playford and Adelaide Blue Eagles, top of the table clash. They've nullified each other, played out a 0-0 draw. I think we all picked Playford, to be honest.
I think so, yeah.
I think just on form, we all picked Playford, but they nullified each other and played out a 0-0 draw, which we don't actually get to see too many of those of late.
Well, I think we even spoke about it last week in the NPL. At least there's only been 3 0-0s all season.
Yeah, just 3. Yeah,
just the 3. And because I think David said something about it, and I went back and checked, and including last week with my 0-0, it was 3. All season.
So you doubted me. You had to go back.
No, I didn't doubt you. I just wanted to. I just wanted. It was such an unbelievable fact. I didn't know if it was true or not.
Yeah. I think we're spoiled for goals here, though.
We are, certainly.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We are. Yeah.
Have you seen the past 2 weeks?
And obviously, the other thing I just wanted to quickly mention, Sturt Line, they've got another victory. They've now jumped from bottom of the table. They've won 4 games on the trot. They are now sitting in 4th. So
that's crazy, isn't it? The difference a few weeks can make.
Yeah, quite an amazing turnaround, but they've won 4 games on the trot. They've now jumped to 4th in the table. And when I say that, they're now only 3 points behind 2nd and 3rd on the table.
Yep.
And they've got Playford this week. It would be a massive game, and obviously Sturt are going into that game as the form team with 4 wins out of their last 5 games. So you're looking at that going, that's quite incredible. Quite an incredible turnaround. So, and I mean, but when you look at it, I mean, Alessio's second favourite team behind Barker, Fulham, I think they lost on the weekend. They've now dropped down to 8th out of the finals, and only won one game in 5. So, and they're coming up against Blue Eagles. So that's, mate, the leagues. I tell you what, I don't know why we even bother tipping, because you just can't.
Although I think last week we made the comment that start with the form side in that league, and at that point they were about 5th or 6th, and I think at that point, didn't we? I think we all agreed that they were the form team in that comp.
Yep, they certainly are.
I'll just quickly touch on Vipers as well. So Vipers and Corbus played each other, and that was the match immediately prior to the Olympic game that I was at. So a goal there quite early on. But the winning goal came in about the 94th or 95th minute. I think it's Anthony Colangelo. I might have got that wrong, so apologies if I have. Goalkeeper's up there, goal by scramble, poked into the net, and there were wild scenes. Anthony Colangelo, there you go. And he's raced off to the corner to celebrate. Might have come up to the fans, but opted to go for the empty corner of the park to celebrate. But there were manic scenes when that one went in, which happened just as we were preparing for our feature match.
Well, I think that's all the games gone through. Yeah, it is. Well done, everyone. Got through all the games. On to the WNPL. Adelaide Comet 6-0 winners over Sturt SANTC. A 1-0 loss to Salisbury Inter in that grand final rematch. West Adelaide 5-0 over Flinders United. Adelaide City 5-2 over Adelaide Uni. And Burkalla losing 6-1 to Metro.
I'll jump in if you like, David. I was just going to say the Adelaide City game for me against Adelaide Uni. Adelaide City, they've taken the form of the men at the moment. They've both sides are really doing quite well at the moment. Adelaide City 5-2 win over Uni. We thought, I think we actually picked Uni. I think some of us might have picked the Uni.
I think I picked Uni. Yeah.
But Adelaide City, like I said, they're just starting to find
sorry, Mike. By the way, what a goal this was, by the way. This was I did not even expect this to be anywhere near. It was unbelievable.
That's just a finish.
I think from memory, there was 2 goal of the week contenders in this, definitely.
Just quietly, those. I'm not a huge fan of the pink strips, but I do like those ones. That's for sure.
I'd love a good pink strip, to be fair. Yeah.
I'm always a purple. I was a goalie. I like the purple, but the pink strip. I'm not a huge fan of pink, but I don't mind that one. That's quite a nice strip. That. So
see if I can find the other goal that I was a big fan of. Hang on, it's worth it.
I'm with you, Mark. I'm not a big fan of pink strips either. I don't mind a sort of salmon color, but not bright pink. And there's nothing other than it's just not a color for me. That's all.
I actually think top it off.
Last time I was at Adelaide City, actually, I thought I might have treated myself to a shirt because I don't support a team. Obviously, I'm a very neutral observer, but I like the look of the Adelaide City shirt. And I thought it'd be quite a nice present to send back to someone overseas. I've got some friends that collect shirts, but they were quite pricey. So if anyone from Adelaide City is watching and they feel like
you want a free shirt,
yeah, give me a free shirt.
I'll take it as well if they're being offered.
Hey, there's an opportunity. We could get the clubs to throw us a kit each week. We wear it each week and change it, and we can then send it on to people.
I'd more than happily do that.
Hint, hint, wink, wink, yep. Bucco, sort us out.
This was the other goal of the week contender from Brooke Gilchrist. We had the perfect angle, me and Dan, for this goal. It's a perfect finish. It's top corner. It's.
Do you know what? It wasn't the finish. The touch is what got me. That touch. She just waited. The little touch just away from the defender. That was just superb. Yeah. So good luck with the goals of the week this week, Seb. So
thank you.
No worries. Enjoy that. And the other one, obviously, I think the big one. David could talk about the other ones, but I think the other one's probably the Burkalla Metro result. For the really wasn't expecting it to be that big. I know Berks are sitting sort of 7th, but I thought it would be a closer battle than that, because that win there it pushes Metro up to 3rd, on 15 points, but Bacala on 13 points. So it was quite. I mean, between third and seventh in the table seems like a big jump, but it's still very tight. But outside the top two, your third to eighth are on 15, 15, 14, 13, 13, 12. So it's still quite tight. And that's the thing, like Flinders now, they've lost 2 games on the trot. They've now dropped down to 8th. Prior to that, obviously, they were sitting quite happily mid-table. But it's those 3rd to 8th spots, it's so tight. One win can jump you 3 or 4 spots.
Yeah, I don't really have much more to add other than start not scoring again. So they haven't scored since the 33rd minute of round 4, and we're now in round 10. So it's a long time since Sturt have even scored a goal. Never mind, got any winning points. They had a draw 4 or 5 games ago, but that was a 0-0 draw. But they are just not finding the net whatsoever. Their total goals scored is only 6. So for me, I think we can I'm going to start to write Sturt Lions off. I'm afraid. I did the same for South Adelaide in the men's comp a few weeks ago, and I know it's very early on, but very hard to see Sturt coming back now. They did play Comets, so it was a tough ask anyway, but I struggle to see Sturt's ladies staying up, I'm afraid. But the men are doing all right, so half of their interests are okay, aren't they? Still in the green or the red or the blue or the black, or whatever it is.
You might be their lucky charm, because I think you're going there. You're on there Friday, I think, with Johnny.
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to that. So Johnny and I are going to cover the Sturt ladies game on. Johnny's doing lead, and I'll do co, and we'll go along to Sturt on Friday night. I can't even remember who they're playing. They're playing Adelaide City, I think.
Adelaide City, yes.
Adelaide City, yeah. So that's where City could maybe drop off that free shirt for me, because I'll be at that ground if they wanted to just hand
three free shirts. Thank you very much.
Oh, there's only 2 of my pals are after them. Yeah, so I'm actually looking forward to that. I've only done or been to a couple of women's games, maybe 2 or maybe 3 this year, so I'm looking forward to that. It'll be good.
Well, we'll move on to NPL, where there are plenty of. Oh, what's that? Oh, is that Greek music I hear? Greek music I hear. Ah, there's only one man it could be.
Yeah, it's not pipes.
There's lots of Greek men, but there's only one that knows what we're doing.
He was here, but now he's gone, so now I have to stall for time because he was in the room and now he's not in the room anymore. So
there's a competition now between who's more Greek and who's more Scottish. David's gone back to the hat.
I can't get it over my headset.
This would have worked out a lot better if he was here right now. We weren't waiting.
Oh, that's awkward for you, isn't it?
Is that because the internet service is that bad at Service FM Stadium, Seb? Or
I don't know. That's a bit awkward. Maybe we'll just start. Oh, that didn't work out too well. So anyway, we'll move on to the NPL. It's back. Oh, it's back. Who is it? It's Antonis Pagonis. Antonis, how are you doing, my friend?
I've got the Greek tongue treatment and everything. Wow.
It's lovely to have you here on this lovely evening. Antonis, tell us where you are, what you're doing.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm offended. I wish I had some Scottish music because that's my team for the Euros, as you guys obviously know on this chat. But yes, I'm coming live to you from Service FM Stadium here. We've got the semi-finals of the Federation Cup for the reserves.
And that's between Adelaide United and Croydon, if I'm not to be mistaken, or is the other game Croydon?
So Adelaide United against Adelaide Croatia, one game, and on the other field, Croydon is taking on Sturt Lions.
Any score updates for us for the reserves finals?
Yes, so Adelaide Croatia's 2-1 up against Adelaide United, and on the other pitch, someone is 1-0 up. I can't tell you who, but someone's 1-0 up.
one of the semi-finalists.
Yes, so it's either Sturt or Croydon. I can narrow it down to those 2 clubs. So I hope that was insightful for you.
Well, Antonis, we won't keep you for long, but while you're here, I think we might as well talk about our out-of-body experience we had together on Sunday night between Adelaide United and Para Hills Knights, because I'm still not sure what we actually witnessed there.
Yeah, and we deserved that after our 0 the previous week, so we got a couple of weeks in one. Not complaining. What a game.
Well, I mean, it started out pretty normal, to be honest, and then
That description.
Amlani Tattoo had a really good game, and then that last half an hour, 20 minutes, sort of just descended into madness.
Yeah, I don't know. Those last 20 minutes didn't really make any sense, but I'm not complaining because that was theatre.
Yeah, I think I said it during commentary that I felt like I was even losing my own voice during that time.
I'm surprised you're hosting today, Seth, because you've got a big game to commentate
I
tomorrow.
know, I need a rest for tomorrow, yeah.
Did you have a big crowd there as a result of the events of the day? Because the country championships were on as well.
Bigger than usual.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say bigger than nothing huge, but definitely bigger than usual. It was nice to see people stick around, and I reckon next year, if you're not sticking around, you're crazy. That's something that might be possible. A 4-all game with someone coming back from 4 goals down. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Let alone.
Were there any standout players for you? Did you feel it was a ensemble kind of team effort?
I think there's one in particular, Antonis, that we.
Yeah. Amlani Tattoo was just in his own world in a good way in that first half, and early in the second half, assist for the first goal and just 2 cracking finishes, which there's one on the replay Seb's got up. Just an incredible young player who's just thriving in this NPL team right now. It's a joy to watch. And a couple of other players that haven't played much NPL football this year as a result of the A-League players managed to get some minutes and impress. On the other side of things, I was really happy to see Abu Hussein score the winner, the equaliser. Felt like a winner at the time. Good young striker, has scored now in 3 straight games, if I'm not wrong, so he's starting to find his goals. So great to see him do well. And actually, Amlani's brother, so it was a bit of a sibling rivalry going on. They got like half the goals between them.
David and Mark, I guess this question goes to both of you. How was it watching at home? Was it as crazy it was for you as it was for us?
I watched the whole game, so I flicked it on. I had been gardening in the afternoon, came in and thought I'll flick it on. I watched the first half, and then I'll get on with other chores sort of thing. But I was glued, and I just had a feeling as well when that goal went in, when De Oliveira scored that first goal with still 20 minutes to go. I thought, or 25 minutes to go. I thought, I just wonder, I just had that kind of funny feeling. I didn't think it would end up 4-all, but I thought, yeah,
might try his luck.
That was some goal, wasn't it? I mean, 10 minutes to go and then it's 4-3, and I didn't expect a 4-all, but when De Oliveira pulled one back, I thought maybe they'll get another one, maybe 2, but I didn't suspect it would end up the way it did.
Sam, sorry, I just put up my screaming in the background. But the line we said after the first goal, do you remember? Crazier things have happened, and there we go. We did it 2 weeks in a row.
It's a funny thing because in the highlights, in this package in particular, there is a moment where you do say something. And let me find it quickly.
What do I say? You got me worried now.
It's not easy.
So this is what you said.
It's not easy, but even if you're not going to win this game, you still want a positive, a silver lining out of it, which Quebec might get here. Harrison Conant just wanting to take himself.
So that was you half writing them off, I reckon, with about 20 minutes to go. Oh no, I think we've lost him.
He's frozen.
He's frozen.
He looks happy though.
I know he's
Believing.
Oh, he's back. I think you cut out for a second there, Antonis.
Like I said, they want the silver lining, but I also said crazier things have happened. So, like the game, let's just call it a fun draw.
Absolutely, it was a thoroughly fun time. I think for both of us, not what we expected, but
Yeah,
happy to.
not complaining.
Absolutely not. Antonis, we'll let you go on with continue taking your magnificence photos, which I will use in social posts going onwards, and enjoying both sides win. But we'll let you enjoy your night.
Easy, thank you. Good to be back on. We've been trying to do this for a while, and that's still not Scottish music.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Thank you, Antonis, for joining us. We'll see you another time. And just like that, he's gone again. On to other games which occurred. We didn't even go through them yet. We just we'll go through them. South Adelaide 1-0 against FK Beograd. Metro Stars, another mental game, a 3-3 draw against Campbelltown. Croydon losing 4-0 to Modbury Jets. Adelaide City 2-1 over the Adelaide Comets. Adelaide Olympic 2-1 over Adelaide Croatia Raiders. And, of course, Adelaide United 4-4 against Para Hills Knights. What were your picks of those, gents?
You can go first if you want, David.
Oh, well, I can talk
Considering you called a couple of them.
I do remember South Adelaide and Beograd on the Friday night with Ben Dale. Felt a little bit for South Adelaide. I felt they were kind of in with a chance. They had played all right through the game. Scored in the first half, I think, just at the very end of the first half, through Donny Pollock, and maybe a little bit against the run of play. But they were working hard, and they looked like a side that were not giving up, persevering, trying to get something out of it. Then there was this little trip in the last minute of play. I think it was on Michael Jakobsen. Jakobsen got up, walked away, and left the ball for Konstantopoulos, I think it was. Jason Konstantopoulos. Yep. So he took that kick. We were already past the 90 minutes, and it went in. And I think FK Beograd probably walked away from that disappointed. But talking to some of the South Adelaide contingent in the bar after, not that I'm a drinker, but having popped into the bar after and having a chat with them, I mean, they were disappointed not to get something out of it themselves. I think they felt that was as good a chance as they'll get to get something out of the match. So 1-0 last minute goal. So there was a little bit of thrill in that. And then on Saturday afternoon, I headed down to Croydon to watch them take on a visiting Modbury Jets side. So my summary of this would be that I felt Croydon had much more of the possession and did much better with the ball in midfield, but just didn't have anything going forward, and were a bit careless at the back as well. First one was for a tug in the shirt penalty that was taken. I thought very good refereeing. He let the play flow, realised the chance was gone, and pulled it back for the penalty. So very brave refereeing, very good refereeing. So that's the Francesca that's scored the first one. Second one, now I made a bit of a mess of this in the commentary because I couldn't make out the shirts.
Let's have a listen.
That's back to the number. It's broken to number 15, and it's just gone in. It's gone in.
We all have those moments, David. There's nothing wrong with
that. Look, I'll be honest. I hadn't done a Modbury Jets game this year, and I
still haven't either, to be fair.
Yeah, and so when the ball broke to number 15, I just wasn't sure who it was. So well done, number 15, who I think was Makeda in retrospect. And then, so Shimizu got the third one for them. And then just at the end here, McCabe had the better of Brazali in a sprint, which he, to be honest, had done so most of the day. I felt McCabe was just a little bit too quick for that back two. And that put it beyond doubt. But, I thought Croydon in possession looked good, but they just didn't have it up front, and they were just a bit careless at the back. So Modbury won that one 4-0. And then I was at Olympic and Croatia Raiders. Do you want me to talk anything about that? I can't remember. How did that end up? I can't remember.
Olympic won.
Yeah, Olympic got the 3-1 result.
Oh, yeah. What a surprise that was. Yeah. But do you know, I think
Sounds like a
soccer-
surprise to you too, mate.
Well, it is too. I was there. I watched this whole game, and I just can't remember much about it. I was probably a bit footballed out by the time it came round. Oh, that's right. Andrew Marveggio with a turn just inside the box, swung with his left foot to the far post. And I tell you what threw us as well as the scoreboard at the ground was wrong for some of the night as well. So
As in-
that all got a bit. As in, they were showing 2-1 when it was 2-0, and it stayed that way for a little while, and then I can't remember what happened when it went to 2-1, which is done now. I can't remember if they showed 3-1 or 3-2 or whatever, but that confused me. I get confused very easily, but that really confused me. But yeah, there's 3 games for you. Can I pass the buck now to Mark?
I did forget to ask
Oh.
as well. Did you have to call Croydon from the stands this time, or were you allowed into the box?
No, so for the audience who aren't aware, there was a little bit of an equipment malfunction the first time I was at Croydon, and someone failed to turn up with every single cable that was required. So Johnny and I commentated on the Croydon game from within the main stand, sitting with the spectators. And I guess people are curious; they want to see what we do. So we ended up sitting with people all around us. I mean, there was plenty of seats elsewhere that people could have gone to. It's weird because sitting with all these people around us, like young families and kids just sitting next to us. This time around, all the cables were brought to the ground. So Connie and I were up in the little media box, which is actually a great little room. It doesn't, you have to stick your head out the window to see down the byline, to be honest.
Agreed. Yes.
But it's got a nice elevated view. And Chris, the cameraman, had to sit in with the fan. But I think that's what the cameraman has to do because you can't stick the camera out the window. So it's a great little media room, but it's just not quite. It could be improved to be fit for purpose. How's that for putting it nicely?
Put it very nicely, Mark. We may now go to you to have to. We'll let David rest.
Yeah, I was going to say he needs it after his 3 games on the weekend. I'll keep it quick. Metro Stars, Campbelltown. We knew this would be a tight game. I can't remember what we all picked, but at 2-0 going into halftime for Metro Stars, I thought, well, this could be an interesting one. 10 and 17 minutes. That man again for Metro, Ren Nagamatsu, he's having a cracking year. Not only is he scoring goals, but he's actually getting assists and linking play really well. So he's really taken that baton from Temelkovsky last year. Admittedly, Temelkovsky scored 30-odd goals, but when you've got Gao popping up with goals like that, and they're sharing the goals around a little bit more this year, both those players have been outstanding this year. And then Campbelltown decided to come back into it. Marino, he's in some cracking form at the moment. He's scoring week in, week out at the moment. So another great finish from him. Josh Murray, Alex Mullen. And here's the thing, Josh Murray and Alex Mullen scoring a minute apart. Like, that's massive. 64th and then 65th minute really put Metro on the back foot. As we see here, great ball out wide to Murray with a delightful ball in as well. What a finish. Just
He must have been 30 yards out there too.
Delightful left foot and just curls that in around the keeper and Ostrike and goal there, just no chance. And then Alex Mullen popping up with a customary goal from him, as we know he can do. A little think inside there. But that turn.
Good finish as well too.
Oh, it's a great finish, great turn. He knew where the defender was. And then that man for Metro Stars popping up in the 97th minute to score the equaliser to make it 3-3. Like I said, Ren Nagamatsu is having a cracking season. I think he's still top of the pile in the goals. Great work there from Chittadini and Nagamatsu. Yeah, great finish. So good game there. Finished 3-3. What else we got? So Adelaide City, Adelaide Comets, I think, is the other game. Oh, we all picked Comets, I think, going from memory. Oh, I know I did.
I forgot I did this one. After Sunday, I forgot all the other games I did.
Yep, you were on this one. Adelaide City 2-1 winners. Comets taking the lead. Adelaide City fighting back and really starting to find their form now. First goal was a penalty. I'll leave it at that. But City take out the win 2-1. So a massive result for Adelaide City because we know what trouble they were in. I mean, they were sitting just above the relegation zone. They've now pushed themselves up to 6 with 4 wins on the bounce. And they undefeated in 5 as well. So massive turnaround for them. But when you look at it, Croydon, who are in
Look at
10th.
this score, by the way.
10th
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Another
Very
contender.
Delightful finish there from young Harry Thomas too. I think that might be his first goal. But from Croydon in 10th to Raiders in 5th, you've got 4 points, which is nothing when you think about it. Adelaide Croatia Raiders are on 20 points sitting in 5th. Campbelltown are in 4th on 23 points. But like I said, and to be fair, Adelaide Olympic, with that win, they've gone up to 14 points. So they're now only 2 points from safety. And that's Croydon sitting in 10th. So Croydon now are in a little bit of are getting drawn into that relegation. So whereas originally we thought, well, South, yes, unfortunately for them, but Adelaide Olympic were a little bit hit and miss. We didn't know what was going to turn up. But Croydon, 1 win in 5, 2 losses. They've got to start looking over their shoulder. I mean, even FKB grad 18 points. It's only 4 points above that relegation spot.
Quick question. So Nicholas Bucco is back for Adelaide City, right? But no sign of Matthew Dauber yet. Is that right?
No, he's still got another couple of weeks.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So good to see these young kids coming on. So as you mentioned, Harry Thomas, Luca Oman come on again, Alex Battistella come on again. So these young kids, Lewis Kylo, haven't seen him yet, but good to see these young kids having a run as well at City. Good on them. Sorry, I just wanted to get that in.
No, it's fine. This is your platform, David. Say whatever you want.
This is the only time in my house where people listen to me.
I love that you're looking out for the missus.
I've got to say it quietly because they're just next door. But yeah, keep going.
But no Bridgerton tonight then?
Yeah, I was going to say no Bridgerton tonight. Well, she finished.
She was watching a show called Austin tonight about. Have you seen it? With a kid from Love on the Spectrum. He's got a drama show now.
Oh,
very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
It actually looked quite good, but
I've seen it.
It's finished now. They're just sitting in there on their phones, but I think they can hear me, so let's move on.
Fair enough. We did start with it, but I think I'll just get it from an outside perspective again. The United Knights game from, I guess, Mark and David from an outside. Who are your standouts from that? Personally, I know me and Antonis did speak about it from, in being so invested in that 90 minutes, but from a less, sort of involved time. How did you see it?
I guess I did throw in the question, were there any standouts for you guys? And I did that because I was playing along with the whole drama game. I was in character. So I knew perfectly well that Amlu Tatu was outstanding just from sitting on my couch at home. He just looked phenomenal. So he certainly stood out for me. Connacht's goal was a cracker, but I mean, so was the other one that was scored, the Adelaide United.
Oliveira's. Well, that one was good too. I think they're all pretty good goals, to be fair.
Look, it was just a great game to watch.
And so the first one I'm not so sure about.
No,
and I'm not sure. And
were you asking if it was an own goal or not?
I was going to say that for me, that was an own goal.
So that was a question that was brought up. Well, me and Antonis, I think we both brought it up on commentary because we weren't quite sure either when we were trying to look at it. But I think it did end up going down to Joey Garuccio in the end as his goal.
For me, that's an own goal.
I thought it was an own goal, but we did attribute it to him in the end.
Actually, one player that did stand out for me, like I watched some of the game and some of the highlights. And yes, obviously Amlani Tatu gets a lot of the media in the fact that he scored 2 goals and has celebrations like that. But one of the players that probably he played, I thought what I saw of him played really well. A great little dummy there from Stan, by the way, was young Crawford. He doesn't start every week. Doesn't start every week, and now that he's obviously got his opportunity, I thought he was really dangerous down that wing.
His crossing ability is immense. It's ridiculous how good he is.
He was. I thought he had an absolute cracking game, and like I said, doesn't usually get a lot of the plaudits because he's not normally the goal scorer or he's not normally he just does his hard work and he puts in some great crosses and just causes havoc down that side. But I thought he was quite good on the weekend.
But yeah, so all in all, I guess another normal weekend here in South Australia.
Yeah.
The final game, I suppose, happened last Wednesday. the Australia Cup qualifying final between Mulberry Jets and Adelaide Olympic. Mark, this was your Alessio and Johnny's game. I was on sidelines, so I probably didn't get to really watch it as you might have.
You
from
were
your view.
working.
I was working. What are you on about? Anyway, yeah, I guess just tell us how you saw it from the box.
Yeah, look, if Olympic had a striker that could finish on the night, then Olympic would have won the game. The simple fact was, Mulberry, both teams had their moments where they really were on top, and I feel for Tremonton there because he's gone across to try and make the save, and as a goalkeeper, it's your worst nightmare when you hear the ball hit that post. You immediately think, where's it gone? And then when you know that it's come back and hit you, it's the worst feeling because there's normally only one place it's going after it hits you, and that's the back of the net. So I really feel for him. But like I said, if Olympic had a strike on the night that could finish, then I think they would have won. They could have come away with the win because Mulberry really went defensive with probably the last 15 minutes to go. And Olympic, with 10 minutes to go, really, really just pushed the boat and we're throwing everything at them. And Mulberry managed to make Ryan Nield made 2 outstanding saves late in the game that effectively ended up winning Mulberry the game. So yeah, I think like I said, overall it could have quite easily gone extra time, but Mulberry got the win and move on to the next round. Olympic took out what was good from that game and obviously applied it into their league fixture and got the win on the league. So I know their aim is to stay up. Cup, so a bit of a distraction at times, but I think they took that form with them from the Wednesday into the Saturday, and like I said, they got the win.
David, your perspective of it?
Oh, well, pretty much echo what Mark said. I mean, I wasn't there. I did watch the game, but I was at home. But yeah, and I think you're right. I think Olympic probably did take some of that form into their league game at the weekend, the one I was at with Croatia Raiders. So yeah, it was quite a tight game. It looked like a bit of a tussle, a bit of an arm wrestle between the two sides. But yeah, no further comment, Your Honour.
We'll move on to our predictions now, where we'll go through each game, one game at a time. We'll start with State League 2. Do you guys want me to speak slowly again this week?
No, you're all good. You're all good.
Are you sure? Are you actually sure
We're
about
all
that?
good.
No, okay.
No, we
State
got
League
you
2.
this week.
So is Alessio writing these down again? I don't have to write them down. Alessio's got
Oh,
them.
Alessio's got them while I'm sure he's not doing anything else. He supposedly studies at uni, but I'm sure he's got himself set, so he'll have it. He'll pick it up by the end of the week.
He knows his real priorities, I think.
Exactly. He knows his job as well. And he does a good job at it.
He does. Cove FC versus Eastern United. I'll go for a Cove 3-1 win.
Cove and Eastern United. I've got to bring it up now, haven't I?
Oh.
So...
I asked if you guys were ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm going to go for Cove, and I'll go for Cove to win 2-0.
Yeah, Cove at home in 3 wins on the trot now, in some good form. So I'll go with a Cove 4-2.
Port Adelaide versus Gawler Eagles. I'll go for a Port Adelaide 3-0.
Is this at Port's ground?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I'm going Port. They're due the win. Their last 5 games, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. So they sort of flitted between the two. And it's their week to win. Gawler really struggling. 4 losses in 5. Port Adelaide, I'll go 3-0.
I'll go for. I sort of fancied I fancied a draw in this one, but I'll go for a Port win, but just close, 1-0.
Adelaide Uni versus Modbury Vista. I think I'll go Adelaide Uni in this one, 3-0.
I think it's going to be a lot
That is
tighter
very
than
much
that.
later
So,
last week as well too.
Yeah,
That's what worries me.
I think for Modbury that was just a bad week. I actually think it'll be a lot closer. I think Adelaide Uni will win 1-0, but I think a lot closer. A lot closer than that, than what you've said, Seb. But we'll see what happens.
I will go for a draw in this one, 1-1. I think Adelaide Uni are a little bit shaky, a wee bit hard to predict. Modbury will bounce back from their loss, and a draw, 1-1.
Noarlunga United versus Mount Barker United. A test of friendship, this game has often been referred to. I'll go for a 2-2 draw.
Ooh. Funny enough, I was thinking a draw as well, Seb. And I was thinking a 2-2 draw. So I'm gonna go with you on this, Seb, and 2-2 draw.
I am not going to go for a draw in this one. I'm going to go for a Noarlunga win, but not by much. 2-1.
Okay. Adelaide Hills Hawks versus Northern Demons. I'll go for Demons 4-1.
Where's this being played?
At the
Hawks'
Hawks'
Nest.
That was so that's
Was that good?
It's like an albatross and a crow. It's everything except a hawk. Kaha. I'll go for a Northern Demons win in this one as well. I think Hawks have got another win in them before the season's out, but I don't think it will come this week. Northern Demons to win this one 3-0.
Yeah, I'm going to Demons win as well, and I can't see Adelaide Hills scoring too many, so I'm going to go a 4-1 to Northern Demons.
Last up for SL2, Seaford Rangers versus Pontian Eagles. I think this one's quite an interesting one to predict, in my opinion. I think I'll go a 2-2 draw.
I see where you're coming from, because Seaford have actually only lost one of their last 5. They have had 2 draws and 2 wins, as well as that 1 loss. And Pontian did win 3-0, but those goals, and that was against Gawler, but those goals, as I mentioned earlier, came a bit late. I'm going to go for a wee bit of an upset here. I'm going to say this is going to be a draw, 2-2.
There's the David upset, the draw. Look, as much as I don't want to piss off some friends at Seaford in Anders and Dowsett and the boys, Pontian's form, I mean, they're 5 wins in the last 5 games. I can't see them not getting a result here. I know Quarterbank's doing some great work with the boys at Seaford, but Pontians they're in great form. Their front 3 is dangerous. Kashindi's got 18 in 13, I think it is. So I'm going to go with Pontians and a 2-1 win.
Easy done for SL2. On to the WSL for round 11. Adelaide Jaguars versus Croydon. I'll go for Jaguars on this one.
Is it more just a matter of picking by how much? Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah. Next up, Elizabeth Grove versus Campbelltown. A very interesting one. I think I'll go Campbelltown, though. 2-0.
I'm just having a bit of trouble bringing this up. So we've done Croydon and we've agreed on that. Now we're doing it Campbelltown and Jaguars. Is that right?
No, Campbelltown and Grove. Come on, David.
Yeah, look, I'm going to have to go. I don't think Grove have enough to get over Campbelltown, so I'm going to go close Campbelltown win.
Okay, I've got it in front of me now. You ready for my prediction?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go for an upset.
He's going for a draw.
Correct.
Western Strikers versus Fulham United. I'll go for Western Strikers.
Yeah, Western Strikers for me as well. Fulham are just struggling. 5 losses in the last 5, so.
Yep, Western Strikers for me too.
Mulberry Vista versus Cove FC. I'll go for Vista on this one.
Would you say Vista on this one as well? Cove, hit and miss at the moment, but I think Mulberry will get the win, or Vista will get the win, should I say?
Mulberry Vista win for me too.
And the last one, I've made a mistake on my sheet. It says Mulberry Jets versus Mulberry Jets, but by process of elimination, I think it's Mulberry Jets versus South Adelaide.
That's correct.
Look at me go. I think South Adelaide, 1-0.
Ooh, this is a tough one. They're 5th and 6th, 4 points separating the two. Mulberry Jets at home. Look, Mulberry Jets coming off a win last week. Souths are now three losses on the trot. Look, as much as I don't want to say Mulberry Jets, I'm going to go Mulberry Jets with a 2-1 win. Sorry, Benny. Yeah, and you know what? Unless I can really work the goalkeepers tomorrow night in our session, I have to go. I'm going to have to go on Mulberry Jets win. Sorry, Benny.
So what we're saying, so what you're saying at least is basically if they concede any, it's all Mark Talbot's fault.
Pretty much, yeah. This week it's my fault.
Excellent, David.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry, Benny, because when Mark lets you down, David doesn't. I'm going to go for a South Adelaide win, 9-0. 9-0 South Adelaide.
On to State League 1 for round 15. Cumberland United versus Vipers FC. An interesting one to predict. 2-2.
This is Cumberland and who? Sorry, this is Cumberland and Vipers.
Vipers.
I'm going to go Cumberland win. What did you say, Seb? What would you say?
2-2.
2-2. I'm going to go Cumberland win. I'm going to go 3-2 over Vipers.
I'm also going to go for a Cumberland win, 2-0.
Adelaide Blue Eagles versus Fulham United. I'll go for a Blue Eagles 2-1 win. But I would be tempted with a draw.
So this is an interesting. It's an interesting one because Blue Eagles have only won 1 in their last 5. They've lost 3 and drawn 1. But before the draw on the weekend, it was 3 losses on the bounce. Fulham only won 1. Again, they've only won 1 in 5 as well, but 2 losses on the trot. So neither team have got sparkling form at the moment. So it's a bit of an interesting one. The only reason I'm going to go with Blue Eagles is the fact that they drew with the top side in Playford on the weekend. So I'm going to go Blue Eagles 2-1.
I'm also going to go for a Blue Eagles win. They don't have a great recent record, but top side Playford the week before that they played Sturt, who are the form side in the league. So I think Blue Eagles will win this because they're playing against a side that doesn't have the same form as Playford and Sturt. So I'll go for a Blue Eagles win, 3-0.
Sturt versus Playford. Interesting, I think, is a word to put to it.
I'm going the upset, and I'm not going a draw upset. I'm actually going for Sturt to win this 2-1. Sturt are just a form team at the moment. I just think that might have enough to get over a Playford side this week.
Yep, I'm actually with you, Mark. I think this will be an upset, but not a draw. I think it'll start to win this one. They're on a roll. They're the form side in the comp just now. Playford a bit hit and miss. They've only had 2 wins in their last 5, 2 draws and a loss with the other games. So it's a Sturt win for me too. 3-2.
I don't know if it's the Northern Adelaide and whatever you call it in me to make me think this, but
You're going Playford.
I think I'll go Playford win, but I have no scoreline attached. I think
you might as well just put 1, mate. You get it wrong. If you get it right, you get the extra points.
2-1 Playford, sure.
There you go.
Adelaide Victory versus Salisbury United. 2-2 is the words I hear whenever Salisbury are mentioned. Anyone?
You're on the train again this week.
Oh, of course.
On the train this week.
I'm after last week. I am firmly on the train against a Victory side who are probably struggling at the moment.
So you're going for Salisbury?
Yep, 2-2. Chugga.
Was that 2-2 or a toot?
No, toot. I'm not repeating my joke from last week. That was a disaster.
Do you know when you guys have been cracking all these jokes about trains and toot toot, and you know how you started laughing at that about episode 2? Well, I missed what the joke was in episode 2, and ever since then, I've not understood any of the jokes that you've been cracking about. But I've got to a point where it's been going too long for me to ask, because then I'd just look like an idiot, wouldn't I? So I'll not ask.
Nah, it's all good. Seb, do you want to explain it without him asking?
You know, you've got just, the Salisbury line. The Gawler line stops off at Salisbury. And
Right.
so basically, when
hop on the
Salisbury
train.
at the start of the year, they were flying. They were doing really well.
Yep.
They won all their games at home. So it was the whole thing was that we were jumping on the Salisbury train. We were all on board. And because
there's
of
a
the
train station.
and Salisbury
does.
train station, which goes out to Gawler, so Seb constantly jumps on the Salisbury train.
Well, look, thanks for that, Mark. From now on, I'll be able to laugh like the rest of you when Seb makes his jokes about the train, because I missed it in episode 2, and I just was afraid to ask ever since.
It's a bit of a worry that it's still going.
Yeah, no.
So now you know that. Are you hopping onto the train with me, David?
Does that mean am I backing Salisbury?
Yes.
Yes, I am backing Salisbury, which means I'm hopping on the proverbial train with you.
And what's the noise you have to make when you do that?
Well, it's not going to be 2-2 because Salisbury will win it. It'll be 2-1.
Mark.
I'm on the train. A Salisbury win this weekend, 3-1, and Matty Taylor will score again.
If Salisbury are more than happy to send me a shirt, I would not mind it with number 22 on the back. I would love Salisbury if I can be sent a shirt with,
I tell
with
you
number
what,
22
the boys listen. I was chatting with Gaston the other day. He goes, "The Salisbury boys do listen in and have a good laugh and do
So
enjoy."
Do they know about the train?
They know about the train.
They know that is the bet. Well, if whoever wears number 22, can I please have a replica of your shirt? So next time I can point to my back and go toot toot.
Well,
So
actually, we should just ask Raf. He does Macron do the Salisbury shirts. We might be able to sort that out.
Easy.
So not only did I not get the 2-2 jokes in front of you two guys and sometimes Alessio, I didn't get it in front of an entire squad of Salisbury players as well.
What's next? West Adelaide versus Adelaide Ammonia Cobras. This one being played in the west of Northeastern Metro Stars at TK Shutter Reserve. Yes, I will go for a Cobras 2-0 win.
We got Cobras 2-1 win. West Adelaide obviously got the win last week, but Cobras drawing 2 wins in the last 3. So I just think Cobras will come out on top with a slight advantage in 2-1.
I'll go for a draw because
The
I'll go for the upset draw 1-1 because there's not a lot of draws in this league entirely over the last few weeks, 5 weeks.
You should have told me that before I predicted. I think my first 3 games I predicted a draw. I think I predicted draws for the first few.
This is the week where it'll all happen. I think West Adelaide are probably better than 10th, so it's a big game for them as well. If they can win this one, they can move a fair way up the table because there's 3 points between them and a bunch of teams on 20. So big game for them. I think West Adelaide might get a draw out of this. So I'll go for a 1-1 draw.
Last for State League 1, Western Strikers versus West Torrens Burkalla. This one actually being in the West. I'll go for West Torrens Burkalla 3-0.
Yeah, both of them coming off losses last week. This could be an interesting one. Strikers 2 wins in the last 5. Bacala 3 wins in the last 5. So there's nothing form-wise. There's not a lot between them when you break it down. But I think Bacala just have enough, and I'm going to go with 3-2 win to Bacala.
And I'll go for a Bacala win as well, 3-1.
State League 1 done and dusted predictions. WMPL round 11, Adelaide Uni versus West Torrens Bacala. Another interesting one. Adelaide Uni, of course, with that loss, but then Bacala after their massive loss to Metro. I'll back Uni.
I'm actually with you on this, Seb. I'm going to back a Uni win. When you look at it, Burke's lost 4 in the last 5. Uni have got a couple of wins in that last 5, and a draw. So I actually, with you, Seb, I think Uni are going to get the win.
Gosh, I don't just want to follow you guys, but I think Uni will get the win as well. I'm just looking at Jenna McCormick's scoring record. So
Yeah.
she
She
scored
scored
2
twice last week, I forgot to say as well.
Twice last week, once the week before. She scored the week before that. She scored, as far as I can see, and I just have a quick glance, she's scored every week in the last since she's.
And I think she's playing at centre back.
She scored a hat trick in the cup too. I don't know if you've included that in there.
I think she was. We saw her, or I saw her play. Was that with you, Seb? And she wasn't playing centre back there. She was like a holding midfield role. I think she was like a 6 or something like that.
But
Mate, I'd be putting her up front.
She's a centre back. Yeah.
Chuck her up front.
But would you chuck her up front if she's scoring 2 or 3 goals, or 1, 2 goals? If she's scoring every week from holding 6, then maybe you don't.
Up top, she'll score 7 or 8.
What does that happen to the hole you leave back where she's? Do you know what I mean? What happens then to your midfield and your defence? I don't know.
If you're scoring, this is why
David's a coach and Mark doesn't want to be a coach.
I don't know if I was. I don't know enough about the team. I've only seen them twice this year, so I would probably be quite happy with the way things are. But I don't know what if you did put her up front. I don't know what you'd do in that holding 6 that she's been playing. Anyway, back to the thing. What are we talking about? Adelaide Uni and Bacala. Yep. And you guys have gone for Bacala, which I think is very prudent.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
No, you went for
we did not.
For Uni. You went for
Uni,
which
in our mouth.
You went for Uni, which I think was very prudent, and I'm going to follow you as well. I think Adelaide Uni will win this one too. Quite a big game too, because if Uni win this, they're not necessarily at the bottom 2, but they'll go a long way to chasing that pack that are on 12, 13, 14 points, which is pretty much the 6 teams above them, immediately above them. So after all that, it's a Uni win, 3-0, McCormick to get 2.
The league is ridiculously tight at the moment, I must say. Sturt versus Adelaide City. David, you and Johnny's game. We'll let you start with this one. I suppose the question, I suppose the first question is, do you think Sturt will get a goal back?
I don't know that they'll get a goal against Adelaide City, and Adelaide City are scoring quite well. They've scored 7 in their last 2 games, and they've only conceded 2 in those last 2 games. They've got quite a few clean sheets as well, so I can't see Sturt scoring, I'm afraid. I know a couple of girls that play at Sturt, so I really wish them all the best, but I don't think this is going to be a week that they get a point. It's going to be an Adelaide City win. Might be. I'll call it 1-0. There you go.
Sam, you're on mute.
Yep, I'll go 3-1 City.
Yeah, I'm going the City win, and I'm actually going to go 5-0.
Yeah, I think it might blow out a bit. You're giving Sturt a goal, Seb.
Yeah. Oh, I always, as the Monty Python song goes, always look on the bright side of life. I think is a great motto to live by.
So I'm just looking at my notes here. They haven't scored. They haven't scored since the 33rd minute of round 4 when Florence Russell scored, and that's nearly 600 minutes of football. It's just over 600 minutes of football. This is the week they're going to get one, you reckon, Seb?
If I could do the whistle from that song now, I would. Salisbury Inter versus Adelaide Comets. Another very interesting one. I'd say Comets win. 2-1. 3-1. 3-1 Comets.
I'm going to go draw.
Yeah, I had a. Yeah.
No, I'm going to go draw on this one.
I'm going to go for a draw as well. 2-2.
Do you know what's scary though is in the last 2 rounds there hasn't been a draw at all, and I've just picked a draw.
What's next? Flinders versus Football SA NTC. Unfortunately, last week Flinders. What did I say? Flinders did not be Flinders last week, like I said they would be. I'll go for 2-1 Flinders.
I'm going to go draw. I'm going for 2 draws. I'm going for a draw again. We're going to catch up from the last 2 weeks.
I'm going to go for a NTC win, 1-0.
Easy done. Last up, Metro versus West Adelaide. Even though Metro had a massive win against Berks last week, I think West Adelaide will win this one 4-0.
I'm going to West Adelaide win as well. 4-5-0.
Quick's hat trick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's a fair shout, that. No pressure, Quigs.
I don't know that Metro United will score against West Adelaide, but I don't know that West Adelaide will score a lot against Metro. So I'll go for a West Adelaide win, but I think it'll be quite tight. I'll go for 2-0.
On to the men's NPL round 15 starting Friday night. Modbury Jets versus Metro Stars, a repeat of what was a magnificent 2 legs in that qualifying final. David, that was your games with Alessio, if I'm not to be mistaken?
Yes. I think.
Mate, he can't even remember half the games from the weekend, and you're asking him to remember the finals last year.
No, it was. I do remember. No, it was. Yes, you and Alessio did those 2 legs last year. I remember. Yes. So repeat of that. Again, these sides both towards the very tippity top of the table. I'll go for a Modbury 3-2 win.
I'm going to go draw. I'm going to go.
I can hear that.
I'm going to go 3-3 draw. Modbury 2 losses in the last 5. Metro Stars 4 draws in the last 5. Undefeated in 5 though. But they just seem to be Metro Stars just seem to be snatching draws at the moment from victories or snatching a draw from defeat. So I'm going to go a 3-3 draw.
Who's covering this game?
This is Connie and Alessio's game.
Oh. This will be
so what do you wish upon them? Like you wished upon me?
No, I think in that case, well.
Nil.
Yeah, nil.
I think this will be a high scoring draw. I think this will be 3-3.
I think we'd say 5-5 or something like that. Then.
No.
David and I are on the same page. We're on the same page.
Did you say 3-3 as well?
Yep.
I said 3-2. Modbury.
You can keep it, mate. Keep it. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it 3-3 because I think 4-0 is too much and 2-0 is not enough.
Para Hills Knights versus Adelaide Comets, a valiant comeback, of course, against a Comet side who, of course, have a big game tomorrow, I must say. I think Comets, though, still in this one, regardless of tomorrow night's result. 2-1.
It's funny. I took into consideration last week in picking my results for last weekend with the Olympic and Modbury and Croydon games, and it really backfired. I thought I picked both of them to draw. They were going to struggle against the having to back up 3 days later, and Modbury went and pummeled Croydon 4-0, and Olympic went and won as well. So what do I know? So just on that alone, Adelaide Comets for me, they'll win 3-0.
I'm also going to go for an Adelaide Comets win, but just 2-0.
Fair enough. What's next? Campbelltown Olympic. David, your game. You're up at Steve Woodcock.
Oh, I did put my name down for that. It's in the afternoon, Saturday, isn't it?
It is. Are you aware you're doing that game?
Yeah. Campbelltown and Olympic. Well, no, Olympic had a decent enough result last. I've done a few Olympic games now. Anyone would think I was a fan looking for a free shirt. But anyway, no, I think Campbelltown will have the better of Olympic in this tie, and I think they'll have the better by a fair bit. 3-0 Campbelltown.
I think I'll go for 3-1 Campbelltown.
Well, the fact that Campbelltown are playing tomorrow night in the Cup, I'm going to throw the whole rehab thing out the window again because it worked last week. So Campbelltown for me, and I'm going to go a 2-1 win.
What's next? Adelaide United versus Croydon FC. My game at Jeps Cross. Croydon will go up 3-0. Adelaide to come back 3-3.
You don't get it every week, Sam. Seriously.
Oh well, it seems like it these past 2 weeks. We've gotten it. We've gotten it every week. Might as well continue the streak.
So what have you gone with? The 3-3 draw between Adelaide United and Croydon.
Saying, I do this one. This one's a 0-0, and the Parry Hills Knights Comets one is another 3-3 when they come back.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. I'm going to go Parry Hills 2-1.
Parry Hills.
Parry Hills 2-1. Yeah.
Oh,
hang on. Sorry. Sorry.
You already.
I've done that game. So Croydon and Adelaide United. Sorry, 2-1.
Yep.
Not as many goals.
I'm going to go for. I don't trust Adelaide United now. I'm going to go for a draw in this one, an upset draw. 2-2.
What's next? Adelaide Croatia Raiders versus South Adelaide. I think this is a Croatia's 4-0.
Is this at Croatia's ground?
Yeah.
You know, despite their lowly position, South Adelaide haven't been completely out of games that they've played, and I've seen quite a few of their games this year. So I think Croatia Raiders will win this, but I don't think they'll win it by much. I think it will just be a 1-0 maybe, because South Adelaide are in these games. They just they're maybe a bit too reliant on one player getting their goals, and maybe that's let them down. And then they've had their chances. They just haven't been clinical in front of goal. They've hit the woodwork. I don't know how many times in the games I've seen them. So I don't think they'll be out of it, but I think Croatia Raiders will be too strong, but not by much. Maybe 1-0.
I think I called this game the reverse fixture earlier in the year.
Yes, you did.
It finished 4-3.
Oh, I do remember this
to
game.
Raiders.
Yes.
With
that
a couple
one with
of
the controversial goals?
Yes, dubious goals, yes, and calls throughout the night. So I'm actually going to go on upset. I agree with David that South Adelaide haven't been out of the games with some of those games. Obviously, they got the draw on the weekend, but some of those losses, they've only been, some of those games, or more than not, it's only been a 2-1 or it's only been a 1-goal loss. Raiders not in the best form themselves at the moment. 1 win in 5, 1 draw in 5, 3 losses. So I'm actually going to go on upset, and I'm going to go a South Adelaide win 1-0.
Don't mind it. Finally,
Really?
for the
Jeez, I was going
NPL
to say, talk about quietening you two down.
Yeah, but I agree with you, Mark. I don't think South Adelaide will finish the season without winning any more games. I think they've got a couple of wins up their sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they haven't been out of these games. I mean, I've been down there probably 3 or 4 times in the last couple of months.
More times than Mark.
Yeah. On a Friday night, it's just been they've had the home game on a Friday, and I've just gone there after work to cover the games, and because I've got a day job that actually pays bills.
I do, thank you very much. Now I do. Thank you.
But no, I think South Adelaide have got another win up their sleeves this year. But and you're right. Well, now that I'm thinking about it, Mark, Croatia Raiders, they've only had one win in their last 5. Their league. I'm actually going to go for a draw in this. Bugger, I'll go for a draw in this. I can't remember what I said before, but unless if you're listening, I'm going to go for a draw in this. I'll go for a 2-2 draw.
Oh, he's a stickler for the rules. He might not let you switch.
Well, if he doesn't let me switch, I'm happy with my original pick. But if he does let me switch, I'll have a 2-2 draw.
Finally, FK Beograd versus Adelaide City. I'll go for 2-2 draw.
I'm going to go an Adelaide City win. Their form at the moment, they're 4 wins out of 5, undefeated in 5.
If I get a shirt, then it's an Adelaide City win. If I get the pink one, then Adelaide City win.
Oh, gee whiz. I'm going to go an Adelaide City win, and I think it's going to be a 2-1 win. Actually, no, 3-2 win to Adelaide City. But like I said, FK Beograd only lost 1 in their 5, so they're not in bad form. But Adelaide City at the moment, they seem to be like a steam train at the moment. They've picked up speed, and like I said, undefeated in.
Mark, there's only one train in South Australia.
There's only one train. I know there's only one train.
I get it now.
They've picked up, like I said, undefeated in 5, 4 wins in the last 4 games. I'm going to have to go Adelaide City, like I said, I think 3-2.
I'm just writing down my shirt size. Black and white, traditional home. Black and white stripes, traditional home with the lovely green and red trim around the sleeves.
That's the Italian flag trim, mate.
Yeah, that's okay. I could put it up there on the wall with the others.
You put it up on the wall with the other ones, yeah.
I think it's a New Balance shirt, and I'm a
it is New Balance
chest, or 44-inch chest, 46 will do. Just whatever you've got, it's fine.
You're going to get it tailored.
And Adelaide City to win. And Adelaide City to win this game as soon as the shirt comes through in the post. Adelaide City to win 2-0.
Last up for this coming week in South Australia, the Australia Cup qualifying final 2 tomorrow night. Campbelltown City, Adelaide Comets, Seb O'Neill, David Grant, Connie Coimsis.
What a lineup that is.
It's like the Bee Gees, isn't it? Better than the Bee Gees. Are we doing predictions for this, are we?
Yes.
Ooh.
And keep in mind, if the players listen, you might be seeing them tomorrow before the game, David.
Well, in that case, I want it to be 11-all and everyone to get a goal.
Yeah.
everyone to hold hands around the centre circle and just sing Kumbaya.
How do you pick this one?
It's
so
tough.
Versus,
I think this is a tough one.
Yeah, third versus fourth, very similar sort of league form. The two have. It's a neutral ground, obviously. Comets are coming off the back of a loss, aren't they? They lost 2-1 to Adelaide City, but Adelaide City are a form side. Prior to that, they had 2 wins, but that was South Adelaide and Adelaide Olympic, who are down in the bottom half of the table. Yeah, I'm going to go for. I reckon this will go with 120 minutes, possibly penalties, Seb. So I hope you're prepared for that.
I'll bring my
Had you
sleeping
thought
bag.
about that? Had you
I'll
thought
stay
about
there
that?
for work the next morning. No.
I reckon this might go all the way to penalties. I think it'll certainly go to extra time. I think it'll be a really tight, cagey affair for the first 45 minutes. No goals in the first 45. Then I think around midway through the second half, one of them will score, and the other one will score an equaliser on the 89th minute, taking it to extra time. Then it'll be a repeat. It'll be cagey all through that extra period, and it'll go to penalties. And penalties are an absolute lottery. So I like the Campbelltown shirt, to be honest, of the two. So
hint, hint, wink, wink.
If there's a Campbelltown
so Alex Mullen.
Alex.
Yeah.
If there's a
Alex,
Campbelltown shirt
listening.
going, if there's a Campbelltown shirt going, I'm going to go for Campbelltown to win this, but all the way to extra time and penalties. So Campbelltown and penalties, 7-6. in penalties.
I thought that was. I thought you were about to say that was going to be like the final score. I was like, what?
No.
No.
1-1.
I-
1-1 after extra time. 7-6 from penalties. Campbelltown.
2-2 after extra time. One of those goals being an Alex Mullen header, and one of the Comets goals coming from Roberto Fernandez Garrido. And then on penalties, it gets down to the keepers, and Campbelltown win. Alex Woodland scores the winning goal.
Oh,
Why do you assume that the goalkeepers are going to kick last? Some of the
Okay,
best, some of
my
the,
apologies. My
some of the
apologies.
best penalty takers.
My apologies.
Goalkeepers.
Well, okay, no, I'll change my prediction. No matter what, the keeper will score the winning goal.
All right, that's better.
That's my prediction, regardless
I like
of where
that.
it is.
tell you what,
fair,
if that
that's
happens,
fair.
you get an extra 10 points, I think.
I think if either mine or yours is right, we should. Mark, what's your very exact, specific prediction that you have?
Oh, jeez. All right. Look, I actually think again. I'm in the agreement with David. Very cagey affair. And I'm hoping for penalties because I didn't want them last week because it meant I had to drive home really, really late. So I'm glad we didn't get penalties this week. Last week. This week, I don't care. I hope it goes to penalties because you guys got to drive home. So I'm going for a draw at the end of extra time and penalties. It'll be a 4-3 penalties to Comets, and Vaughan is going to save 2 of them.
Whoa.
So 2 for Campbelltown, 1 for Comets. Very, very interesting. I look forward to the game tomorrow. It's very, very exciting. Always exciting cup games. So, yes, finally, I guess we'll move on to a new part of the show, as displayed by David. International football Euros fever is on, and there's some international games which I thought might be catching our eye. So I thought might talk
Yes,
about them, of course.
And with that, we need to do quicken up so we can watch the Australia game on tonight.
Of course. I mean, we might as well start with that. Australia versus Palestine. The starting lineup is out, so I can actually tell you if there are South Australians starting. There's Cassini Yengi, so that's 1. And Joe Gauchi is starting. So 2 South Australians in the starting lineup, and Paul Izzo, Ryan Strain, Apostolos Stamatoulopoulos, and Nestori Irankunda on the bench. Starting
Good.
out. So I think a 4-0 win for Australia, I think, for me.
If they attack like they did in the first game, or the one that we watched the other night, who was that against? Was that against Palestine?
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh. If we attack
The
like
one that was in 240p and recorded on an old
exactly.
camcorder.
If we attack like that, then tonight we'll win 1-0. If we actually attack properly and play some better football with the better pitch and things like that, then yeah, this could blow out quite significantly. So Australia will win, but it could be anything from if things go well, could it be anything from 4-0 to 6-8 maybe. So Australia big win.
We've already played Palestine in the qualifiers, haven't we?
In Canberra, yes.
Can anyone remember what the score was then, the first time around?
It was
Was
a
it
big
4-4?
win, I think, going from memory.
I think so.
That's 7 ringing a bell, but I'm not sure.
It
Going to
was-
go, while you're looking that up, I'm going to go for an Australia win. I'll go for, do you know what? I sort of think that sometimes...
Oh, no,
what
sorry. We
do-
haven't played. Let me investigate. You talk.
Okay, I'm talking. So sometimes I think with these games, there's a lot more pressure on the team to do a big job, and it preys on them a little bit. And sometimes they don't do quite as well in terms of goal scoring as you expect. So I think Australia will win this, and I think they'll win it comfortably. But they might only win it 3-0. Do you need more time, Seb?
No, sorry. Yeah, no, I don't need any more time. So we played Palestine in Kuwait back in November of 2023.
Yep.
So I'm actually wrong.
So
I was thinking of the Lebanon game. And we only beat them 1-0 through a Harry Sutar header in the 20th minute.
Right, yeah. So I think, and that was Palestine's home game due to the unfortunate situation in their territories. I think Australia will win, but I don't think they'll win by a massive amount. I think it might only be 3-0.
Fair enough. Next one in the OFC Nations Cup, the Solomon Islands versus Vanuatu. This might be a very strange one to pick, but there's actually quite a few NPL players involved for Vanuatu. Tasso Jeffrey from Western Strikers, Jared Clark from FK Beograd, and Alex Samuel from Northern Demons, alongside as well Brian Kaltak from the Central Coast and formerly FK Beograd as their captain. And of course, Adelaide City's new signing, Rafael Leai, will be playing for the Solomon Islands. Yeah, I just thought it was an interesting one to bring up. It's 1:30 p.m. They have games against New Zealand in their group as well. I think New Caledonia was also in their group, but they had to unfortunately pull out. But we might as well make predictions. I'll go for a Vanuatu win, 3-1.
Yeah, I'm with you there. 3-1 sounds about right, Seb.
But Rafael Leai to score.
I'm going to go for a Vanuatu win as well. But knowing the Solomon Islands and how they battle, I think they might get a couple of goals. I think it might be 3-2. So 3-2 for Vanuatu. Can I just ask, OFC, is that part of the World Cup qualifiers, or is this the Oceania
version of the Euros?
It doubles up as a World Cup qualifier?
I don't think so.
Because sometimes what they used to do is they used to have the Oceanic Nations tournament double up as World Cup qualifiers as well. You don't have to answer that question. I've made my prediction, but I was just curious.
He's going to look it up though.
Yes,
I am looking it up currently.
He's like a mouse in the kitchen when he smells a bit of cheese, isn't he?
Yeah, it's like off he goes.
Yeah.
So, and then while he's looking that up, David, we'll jump onto the last game. This is your game. This one.
Yeah.
You've got your flags around. You've got your flags around the wrong way in the background, but that's okay. So, but because on the screen it's Germany on the left. You've got Scotland on the left. So, but anyway, that's okay.
Yeah.
So, who are you going for in this one? What's your tip on this one?
No, don't say who he's going for, because I know who he's going for. But who does he think? Who does he think will realistically win?
What's his tip?
So
I'll have to get up and watch this one, I reckon.
Well, actually, when you mentioned before about Harry Suter, John Suter, his brother, has not made. He didn't make the Scotland squad. So there was another possible connection with Australia that's dropped out as well as Lyndon Dykes, but that's all by the by. Look, I've learned to be a realist in following Scotland, and I think, as I understand it, the some of the best third place teams get through to the knockout stages. So Scotland's big games, I think, are Switzerland and Hungary, and I'm hopeful that they can get something out of that. I don't think, and Germany aren't on form just now. They're not as good as, they're going through a bit of poor form. They're not as good as they have been in the past. But I think Germany in Munich in front of 80,000, many of whom will be home supporters, I think Germany might be a little bit too strong. But I don't think they'll thrash us. I think it might end up 2-1.
Your goal scorer, who do you think?
I think Lawrence Shankland might get.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah, because he's not a well-known quantity outside of Scotland because he plays in Scotland. He plays for Hearts, but he's the Scottish Premier League's top scorer this year, and he's flown under the radar a little bit. You could argue he's only really there because Lyndon Dykes has dropped out, although they have brought in a guy from Bristol City whose name escapes me just now. They brought him in as the official replacement for Lyndon Dykes, but I think Lawrence Shankland might have a wee trick up his sleeve, and I think he might get a goal for us, but I think Germany might get 2. So 2-1 to Germany.
Mark?
I'm
sort of falling in love with Scotland, to be honest.
I'm actually just basing this. I don't know who's going to win this. I haven't actually looked into the squads or anything yet for Euros, to be honest. I'm about to do my fantasy team, so that's where I get all my info from. So for Euros, so I think Germany are one of the favourites, so I'll basically pick it off that and go with Germany in this game. Just go the home side and go from there. Kai Havertz to score. just because he's an Arsenal boy. Tony Cruz to rule the midfield as he does it everywhere he goes.
Is this his last international tournament?
It's his last tournament ever. He's actually retired.
Yeah,
he's already retired from
yeah.
Real Madrid. He's retiring at the end of this tournament. So I think they'll go a long way because they'll do whatever they can to get him to the final. But I think just based on that, I'll go with the Germany win.
Got a score prediction or just a win?
Just a win. I think it'll be quite. I actually think it'll be quite close. But yeah, I'll just go Germany win.
All right. I'm going to set the scene for you, all right? Opening day of the Euros. Munich is pumping. All the Germans in the stadium and the contingent of Scottish men and women and children are there. Germany got 1-0 early on in the match. And then John McGinn pops up with a goal in about the 85th minute, and Germany only managed to get a draw against Scotland. That is my prediction.
Wow.
I love how you painted the picture for us too.
Thank you. I think it's more the fact as well. I'm trying. I can't be biased. I'm not anywhere Scottish. I think opening day as the home team is also quite a lot of pressure. Personally,
yeah.
Home Euros, home Euros. A lot of expectation, as you said. Probably one of the favourites to maybe win it. I just think this is a German, and as you said, a German side not in the greatest of form. I just think there might be a little something, a little bit of a shock on the opening morning.
You're right about upsets, because didn't Senegal beat France in 2002 in the opening game, and didn't Cameroon beat Argentina in the opening game at the 1986 World Cup? And Scotland played Brazil in the opening game of the 98 World Cup and only lost 2-1. So
Argentina drew their last. In the last World Cup, they drew their first game, didn't they, as well?
To Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. Yeah. Mm.
So that's my thinking. I think opening day, home Euros.
It's a fair shout.
1-1.
Yeah.
There's a science behind it, Seb, and I like it.
I know. Thank you. I appreciate it. Anyway, anything else to add? I'm sure I look forward to hearing your match reports across the Euros, David. I'll make sure to watch plenty of the games. Honestly, I don't know how much sleep I'll be getting over the next couple of weeks with that and the Copa America. It'll be hectic. Might need to do another podcast just to cover that so I can have someone to vent about it. But anything else to talk about for this week?
I'll just do the usual, Seb, in the fact that shout out to TJ Gloves, Goalkeeping Australia, for sponsoring our Goalkeeper of the Year award. If you do need any gloves or anything of the like, please reach out to Tassie or myself and I can point you in the right direction. But any goalkeeper gloves, I think he's doing socks, but glove bags and things like that, please reach out to him and tell him we sent you along to see him. And you can get your hands on, we'll get your hands in some great gloves.
David, anything from you?
No final words of wisdom. We're nearly at 2 hours. I think if anyone's still awake out there, they're probably.
We've got 20 people watching live, so thank you to everybody who's watched tonight.
And I can say that 2 of those will be my mum and dad. So thanks, guys. They watch every week.
Surely not on separate devices. Surely on the same one though. So technically, it's only one.
On the same one.
Yeah, exactly. So that only counts as one viewer on here. So that's if anything, it's 21. You just said 21. It's 21 then. Look 21. At us. That's all from us for this week. Plenty of football, plenty of international football. I think this week we'll end it a bit differently. David, I think I might leave it for you to end us off. I want a rousing Scottish outro, a rousing speech to your troops to outro this podcast with, if that's okay with you.
If anyone can understand it.
On to you.
You've really put me on the spot here. Okay, so just give me 2 seconds. I've got an idea.
God, this is another situation.
I wonder if the idea is that he's going for William Wallace.
No, don't spoil it yet. Don't spoil it yet.
I'm just guessing.
I've got something for you. It's very special. You can play the music
Okay.
softly in the
Okay.
background.
So thank you all for listening and watching. Make sure to like, rate, subscribe on Spotify, on YouTube, and everything. And to outro this week's podcast, David Grant ahead of Scotland versus Germany. On to you.
When I wake up, well, I know I'm going to be the man who wakes up next to you. And when I go out, yes, I know I'm going to be the man who goes along with you. And if I get drunk, well, I know I'm going to be the man who gets drunk next to you. And if I haver, yes, I know I'm going to be the man who's havering to you. And I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk 500 more, just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles to fall down at your door.